Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Field Notes, Insights and Observations for the Travel Marketer. My name is Eric Hultgren. We're in Atlantic City for the New Jersey Tourism Industry Association Conference on Tourism. And for today's episode, we're talking with Daniel Klim. He's the CEO of the New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association, and we're talking about my favorite subject, hospitality and restaurants. So let's get into it. And as I said, my guest today, Daniel, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It is my pleasure. We are talking about one of my favorite subjects, eating out. And obviously, New Jersey is well known for its incredible food scene. One of the things that obviously everybody who sat in this chair today has talked about is the 250th and World Cup. You know, from where you're sitting, you are overseeing kind of the front line of those two events as somebody comes into a restaurant and has an experience. What are you thinking about, and how are you prepping for these two giant events here in New Jersey?
So yes, we are really excited about what's to come in 2026. In New Jersey, we have over 20,000 restaurants. And so when you think about it, when you travel, when you go away, people always talk about how they stayed, where they stayed, and how the food was. So our goal is to make sure that restaurants, hospitality groups, hotels have all of the resources they need to be able to really welcome the world, because we are New Jersey and we are the home of hospitality.
And so how do you do that in a sort of nuts and bolts way? And let me set this up by saying I just took my family on a trip, and we went to this hotel, and as soon as we checked in, they obviously ask you the question, what are you here for, right? And it was for my son's 10th birthday. This person behind the desk stops immediately and stops talking to me and my wife and talks to him directly, and gave him keys to the executive lounge, and paid for his dinner, and changed the trajectory of the entire trip. And that level of autonomy, becomes very hard to culturalize, right? Because you find people that are good at it, but you need everybody to be good at it. So from your perspective, how do you do that?
So we've already started preparing. The good part now, if you take the World Cup, we've got the group stages. So we know what countries are coming in. So we can communicate, we can provide resources, we can work with our partners to make sure that all of our restaurants, all of our hotels understand the customs or the traditions of the different countries coming in, understand how they tip, understand what they might want to eat, but they're also going to want to eat what's local and what has that Jersey flair. So we really want to make sure that we give them as much information that they need about anything we can with the cultures that are coming in, or the guests from other places, because we're going to have people that aren't just going to attend the games, they want to be a part of the festivities themselves.
Sure. And is that exciting to you?
It's very exciting.
Okay, yeah. I get the sense that
very exciting. This comes around once in a lifetime. So we want to be as good, if not great, as we can, so that people that are coming here for the first time will want to come back again and try another part of the state or try another area. We're the Garden State, but we've got, the industries, we've got the shore, we've got amusement parks, we've got history, we've got mountains, we've got something for everyone. And in that, we also have restaurants for everyone. So we want to make sure that people have such a great experience that they come back again with their friends next time.
Because the goal, obviously, the worst thing that could happen is somebody says, it was okay.
That's it, right? Okay is not good enough.
Even if they had a terrible time, that's actually better than them being
right,
it was okay.
Right. But we don't want okay. Yeah. We want world class. And that's what we're known for here in New Jersey, and that's what the New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association will put forth for those coming into our state.
And so one of the things that I've been asking everybody who's been sitting here is obviously you said 2026 is a once in a lifetime sort of thing. How do you look at this going forward, right? Adam Pearl just sat here and was talking about the 250th. It's many people are talking about it as, like you just said, a once in a lifetime thing, but he was the first person to sit down and say, no, we're thinking of this as an 8-year thing, that it is just this long celebration as people come back again and again and again. How do you look at 2027 and anticipate what that repeat looks like, from a restaurant perspective, because some of these mom and pop restaurants, like you said, this is going to be a once in a lifetime sort of thing. And 2027 might not necessarily look as crazy as that is.
It's a great question. The events coming in are a once in a lifetime opportunity. How we plan or how we promote or how we market or how we learn from these events, that doesn't need a timeline moving forward. That's a philosophy or a way that we can market and build our businesses. This is going to tell us how we can do it on a grand stage, but it's also going to be a litmus test of how businesses can continue to operate to bring people into our state.
So this is I'm going to preface this by saying sort of going to feel like a less optimistic question, but I think this is important when you have these once-in-a-lifetime things. When I talk about marketing in wherever we're talking about marketing, one of the examples I often use is that sometimes virality is not the goal. And the example I use is like there was at one point a website of all of the restaurants that got crushed under the weight of Guy Fieri's diners, drive-ins, and dives because they couldn't deal with the intention. How does an organization like you prep mom and pops to kind of weather that storm of going from, let's say, 20 turns a night to 200 or 500 or whatever, when you have this influx of human beings?
Sure. So we know the timeline. Right, we know we've got 40 to 60 days over the summer that they'll need to prepare for. We'll be able to work with our food partners to make sure they have the optimal amount that they need for the influx of people. We'll be able to work with them on their menus or how they promote. We're fortunate to have a great relationship with the host committees that are going to be able to help us supply information to make sure that our people are prepared, which is exactly why I said we've already started.
Sure.
If we start in May, we're too late. Right? But that's why the goal has been to make sure this is on people's radars. They understand what's coming and that they'll be able to be prepared for it, be it workforce development or be it menu dishes that their chefs have to come up with to be able to satisfy everyone coming in. So our job is to communicate, so that they have the resources they need to run a successful business, not just for the events coming up, but as I said, beyond 2026.
Daniel, what are your plans to enjoy these things, right? Like, how are you going to enjoy kind of the fruits of that labor as these events are happening? Do you have a plan to travel? You don't have to tell me if it's sort of like secret shop for you, but do you have a plan to see all of the amazing work that's going to happen in the state?
It's one of those things that when you've done events, you're going to sit back and reflect on it afterwards. In the middle of it, you got to stop and enjoy each moment. That moments are going to be different, but you've just got to be a part of it and be a resource for whatever anybody needs for this duration of time, so that they know, one, their association cares about them, two, the association is going to help them prepare, and three, we'll give them all the resources they need to be successful for this influx, but also continue to support their endeavors throughout the future.
I hope you take this as a compliment. You've got a sort of Danny Meyer vibe about you, that I'm enjoying greatly.
That is a compliment. Thank you.
Last question, and I'll let you go. When you come to conferences like this, right, what do you, Daniel, look for when you go? Like, what are you here for, and what do you want to walk away tomorrow afternoon when this wraps up and go, okay, I'm glad I was here because I did X?
You're open-minded to the presentations that are given, and you try to take something from everyone that you might be able to implement. It might not be everything, but you take pieces that you say, okay, someone's done it, and you want to build it into what it is you're doing. That's on the educational part. The networking part of this is invaluable. I just had a conversation with two people that were working on a partnership, because those ideas happen, and then they materialize when you move forward post-conference. And that's what we're happening. Take those ideas, take the creativity that comes, the inspiration that comes out of this, and move it forward for the betterment of the state.
And on that note, one of the things that I love about the idea of travel is that not only do you build memories from the traveling that you're doing, but you build empathy because you meet new people. And what's amazing about the two events coming here is that one of the best ways to build that empathy is to share meals with people, right? And so as you're coming into these restaurants, it's so easy to get it. Your energy is infectious with this because it's so easy to get caught up in this because you're just visualizing these people showing up for the first time and enjoying you had 20,000 restaurants. I can't even pick a name out of my right, but like
Sure.
enjoying these restaurants all over the state, and then talking about them in the aftermath.
Sure.
So Daniel, obviously there's the two big ones, but what else is coming to this area? Because I know that there's an MLB event coming, and then what else maybe is coming?
Sure. So we have the 250th anniversary, which is going to be up and down the state, but we also have Sail 250, which is going to be outside of Jersey City with all of the tall ships coming in, which is going to be another huge economic boon, and that's going to be around 4th of July. So not only are you going to have the crowds here for the World Cup, but you're also going to bring in the crowds into the northern part of the state for Sail 250. On the southern side, we've got the Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Philadelphia.
Oh, very cool.
So that's going to be a week-long festivity that we're going to hope that those people come from Philadelphia and see our South Jersey restaurants and hotels and amusement parks and everything that we have to offer for those. You've also got Pride Month coming up in June. So we've got a wealth of activities from the northernmost part of the state to the southernmost, and we're really excited for everything coming into New Jersey.
So Daniel, I assume then by September you'll be in the Amalfi Coast and unable to be contacted after all of those events?
That would be great, but I may be in a Trenton pizzeria enjoying myself as well.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Great questions.